Hi poopsies. This video is going to be another life advice video, and of course I get requested to do these all the time, but I can't because I have so many other wonderful ideas that I have for my other viewers and ideas of my own that I like. So this is going to be a pretty simple video, and I wanted to show you something first before I talk about this subject matter, and it is such an honor. I'm getting a little bit watery-eyed, but I'm gonna open this box and show what I've received in the mail. Can you guess what it is? I've just received my silver play button from YouTube, and I'm so honored to be able to share this with all of you. And this is actually, most honestly, a gift for all of you too, that we share, because without all of you, this wouldn't have been possible. It just reminds me of the big milestone, and that anything's possible, and I can shoot for the stars. So thank you for being there with me all these years and reminding me what I can accomplish. I really appreciate it, you guys. Big kiss to all of you. Okay, before I start crying again, let me start the video. I have some notes here in my notebook, and I love writing notes in a purple pen, which you will probably notice later on if I do another one of these types of videos. So, I wanted to talk about how to stop and defeat jealousy. And that's a subject matter in which I am quite aware of in people. I don't want to say that I'm always right. No, that's not the case at all. However, I do notice things and certain traits in people, certain facial expressions that they make that may portray a form of jealousy. And I wanted to share this video with you to describe my experience with jealousy and what I've done to deal with it, personally speaking. So, I will go a little bit more in depth about it. I just thought it would be nice to talk about it with you, and if any of you have experienced any problem with anybody who may have gone through a jealous relationship, or just anything that may have caused a disturbance in your life at one point or another, even if it's for yourself. If you are trying not to be so jealous of others, maybe not give off that jealous energy to others if you think it's something negative. So I'm just going to give a little bit of advice and take a look at my notes, because I have quite a lot of ideas written down for what I wanted to bring up. So I'm just going to be sort of eyeing down a little bit at my notes from time to time, if you don't mind. But the first thing you want to do is admitting the jealousy and facing that you may have a problem. And before I begin talking about this subject matter, I want to say that myself, I have never really felt any jealousy for anybody else. And I would say there is a more of a envious feeling, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. The difference between jealousy and envy. They're not the same thing. But if you admit that you have a problem, that's where you can start and go from there. If you don't do anything about it, if you're in denial, then you're just going to continue being in this cycle of repeated denial, and you're not going to do anything about the subject matter. So, I feel like if you, let's say you go to rehab, knock on wood, one of the main things they'll tell you, not that I know because I have never been there, knock on wood, but I'm saying, one of the main things they'll say, is that you have to admit that you have a problem, because if you don't, then it'll make things complicated. So, my point is, that's the first step, basically. And, of course, there are many other things in the world that could be worse than being jealous of someone. But this is more, like I said, my series for life advice videos, and I wanted to go off of what I know. So, the next step is, what are you jealous of? Is it really necessary? I'm going to describe this more in detail. Let's say you're feeling jealous because your friend is going to Jamaica, okay? Why are you jealous? Do you want to go to Jamaica too? Or not? Is it something you really want in your life? And that's the fact that you have to face when you observe these jealous feelings. Do you really want what this person has received? Think about it. If you are, let's say the jealous type you admit you are, do you really want what this person has? Just take a few seconds and think about it now. Is it something you really want? Some of you are probably thinking, nah. And I agree. You most likely don't even want it. You just feel it. You just can't help but feeling jealous. So, admitting that you feel jealous at this moment in time is also acceptable. There were a couple moments I felt I was in denial and I couldn't really tell. But again, of course, we're all human beings, so admitting once or twice that we may feel a certain way is acceptable too. So even the fact that I say that I have never, ever been jealous may make me seem like I'm in denial, because it's about as normal a human emotion as feeling anger, as feeling happy, as feeling sad. So I'm pretty sure all of us have felt jealous at one point or another. Even Donald Trump. Anyway, jokes aside, what do you think caused the jealousy? How did it begin in the first place? Now, you really have to observe this from an outside perspective. Try to imagine yourself looking at yourself as another person. Let's say you're jealous of your friend for going to Jamaica, okay? And then your friend's mother sees that you're jealous of your friend. So try to think what the mother would think of. How are you acting? Are you not able to stare at your friend's eyes? Are you like diverting your eyes in a manner when they're speaking to you because of it? There's certain ways you can tell when someone may be acting jealous. It's not always true, but people begin to feel a sort of anxiety when they do so. They'll begin to play with their hands. They'll begin to twiddle their thumbs, do this. They'll begin itching themselves, feeling nervous. some may even begin to twitch a little bit, just like a little bit in the eye. They might look a little bit cuckoo for a couple seconds. But you really want to observe it, let's say from the mother's perspective, and how she sees how it began. So, let's say the mother was around when your friend told you that he was going to Jamaica, and the mother started observing your reaction. Like all mothers do. Mothers are very observant. They know everything about their children. Oh, I can't tell you the stories, how many bad friends I've had in the past, and my mom would always say, oh, this friend's no good for you, you know. And she was always right in the end. I ignored her. I said, what do you know? You know, when I was younger. No, this is not true, you know. And I was in denial, too. But then they backstab you, and then you realize they were right. So really observing it from an outsider's perspective is best. And let's say someone else is jealous of you, and not the other way around. Then you want to pretend like you're observing yourself through the jealous person's eyes. Now might get a little bit confusing or seem a little bit weird, but try to imagine yourself in that person for a minute or two and how they feel when you tell them good news, such as, I'm pregnant, or I'm going to the Caribbean, you know, things like that. And see how that person reacts and imitate that person's reaction in the mirror. And if it seems as if it's a little bit off than what they usually do or how they normally react to news, then there you go. Tell them something bad. Tell them some bad news and see how they react. And if it's the opposite, then it's pretty much, you know, if they're really happy for you, let's say, tell a family member something good and see how they react and look at the differences. But again, it's hard to tell. So, are you having any negative thoughts about the person? I'll get into that a little bit sooner. Do you wish to do something bad to the person? Does it ruin your relationship? Now, this is for those people who are more extremely jealous, who, I don't want to say have a little thing in their head, a little bit crazy, but I can see how people can get a little bit crazy when they're jealous and start becoming angry and mixing all other human emotions along with it and making it worse than it should be. But really acknowledge, just meditate on this, not literally meditate, but just think, close your eyes and think. Do you feel resentment towards this person because of this news or this event or happening or whatever it is that caused your jealousy in the first place? Just take some deep breaths. Think if you're angered or sad or upset at this person because of it. And acknowledge it and accept it and know that you are this way because of a reason. So, if you are, just remember, take a deep breath, or 2, or 10, as long as you need, and don't communicate to this person unless you feel better, because that could make it worse, and that brings up arguments and even more fights and more jealousy and etc. So, know the difference between admiring people for their accomplishments and being jealous. It's an overused word. Oftentimes people say, oh, I'm just so jealous of you. But are they really? Probably 50% of the time, not. It's such an overused word. That's why I usually say, like, sometimes when someone tells me something good, I say, oh, I envy you. And then I just laugh about it. Because I don't really feel jealous. Jealous is more an extreme word, such as dislike and hate. Hate is a stronger word, let's say. At least that's how I was taught and raised. growing up, I always thought jealousy was such a bad thing until I realized that it is fixable in a way, or controllable. As much as control I have over it as when I get angry and then I meditate and then I feel better. That's pretty much it. So definitely don't overthink it either. Overthinking it may complex emotions and make more emotions. So just try to acknowledge what I'm saying, I suppose, and not take it to heart too seriously. Yeah, don't take it to heart. But definitely know the difference between admiring someone for an accomplishment and being jealous. If you really are happy for them, you want what's best for them, and you'll continue having a good, thriving relationship with them. And now the next point I want to make is envy versus jealousy. And again, these two are different on the scale. Envy is more down here, while jealousy is like more up here, I should say. And they're not the same thing. Feeling envious is more so feeling happy for the person, yet not quite wishing you could be there or do that or achieve this or that. It's more, how do I explain? It's more, the best way to describe it is feeling happy for someone, but at the same time, this is a tough one to describe. Okay, jealousy is basically wanting something from someone. And envy is more acknowledgement. Such as, okay, let's put it this way. You want a new puppy. So does your friend. Within a month's time, your friend gets the puppy first. You know you're already getting the puppy in a week. You know it's coming. You know you're waiting for you to get the puppy. But you envy the person for having the puppy, and you're just longing for it, but expecting it in return. That's a short example of what envy would be. You're not jealous of the person because you're already getting the puppy, so there's nothing to be jealous of. But I guess you could be jealous that the friend got the puppy first. This is getting too complicated. Just know that envy is different than jealousy, and it's more lighthearted. Envy would be more lighthearted in vocabulary, I suppose, and jealousy would be more... Okay. What do you have that this person doesn't? Doesn't that make you valuable anyway? What I mean by this is just what I mean. What do you have that this person that you're jealous of doesn't have? They may be going to Jamaica, but they don't live in a mansion. Maybe they saved up all their life just to go. You don't know their situation. Maybe the other person is jealous of you for living in a mansion. Maybe you don't get to go anywhere because all you do is pay bills. You understand what I mean. And maybe the other person is jealous of you for the mansion, but they don't understand that you don't get to travel, which is what you love to do. So it's kind of a dual jealousy kind of relationship there. But none of them knows what each person has. So you may be jealous of someone's beautiful long mane hair, but you don't know how hard it is to wash it every day, to brush it, to untangle it, to make it look beautiful and shiny. You don't know what they go through just to have that beautiful hair. So what is there to be jealous of? Do you really want long, thick hair on your head? Do you really want it? Do you really want to have the responsibility to take care of it every single day, put conditioner in the shower every time, use different beauty products just to make it shine? Think about it. just small stuff like this. Everyday small stuff that people may be jealous of. Scrolling past social media, people look at beautiful things all the time, and they either envy it or they're jealous of it. So, it's important to acknowledge it and be mindful and aware every single day of this, because you give out that energy every single day. And if you don't control it in a way, it can control you in the end. So, realize your self-worth and your values, and then you'll most likely rarely feel jealous of anyone anymore. Even the Kardashians. Recognize your value and trust in it. Know your self-worth and how powerful that is. And like I just said, trust and believe in yourself, and you will go far and go anywhere in the world that you want to. I like to think if you have a strong head, you can do a lot in this world. So, even the smallest things, as far back as I can remember, maybe the only time I ever felt envy or jealousy, I'm not even sure at this point what it was, but my friend, when I was 10 years old, moved away, and I wanted to move away too at the time, but our plans were canceled. So I felt this energy towards my friend, and we stopped talking after a long time. You know, different lives, we're different people, and we lost touch. The internet wasn't as powerful then as it is now, so easier to lose touch. But anyway, but I didn't realize what I had here and what lessons I needed to learn still, and acknowledging that it wasn't my time to leave the state yet. So I trusted in that and believed in that, and I forgot about it after a while and moved on and found new friends. So I would say my life even got better after that, so it was all just a lesson learned and just a test. So know that you are the only person like yourself, and no one else can be a copy of you. I want to know if any one of you can find another Tony Bomboni on this planet, okay? And if you find your super duper soulmate twin, I want to know too, and send me pictures for proof, okay? Because I don't think there is a single person on this planet who is exactly like you. Every cell in your body is different than the other, and it would be impossible to be a complete copy, even if you look like the most exact twin of your brother or sister. There's no way. It's just not possible to even match your soul, your personality, how you give yourself off to the world, how you think. Your thoughts are always going to be different than someone else's, even in a slight way. So, just acknowledge that you are the only person in this whole universe that is exactly like yourself, and no one else can be a copy. So doesn't that make you so special? You can close your eyes and take a deep breath and acknowledge this now. And I know this is so powerful that it's helped me get through a little bit of envy or whatever it was that I may have been experiencing. And it is strange for me to say that I was at one point or another, because I denied it for so long, but I learned that it's just a normal human emotion, like anger, like sadness, like happiness, that anyone else experiences. Each person is different and has their own life to live. You don't know what any one person went through to achieve something. So you should also never assume they got rewarded right away. And this is going back to the example of the long mane hair I was talking about earlier. remember seeing that Facebook picture with the ballerina feet and how we perceive success as, but what success really is underneath all that talent and stuff. Well, there's a lot of blood. There's a lot of bandages, scratches, stitches, bruises. Here's the beginning, okay? Here's where you are now in your life, okay? Example, you may already be successful. I'm so happy for you. But for those who feel they're not, here's where you want to be, okay? You know where you want to be, okay? This is what people think success is. I want to see someone's life who has gone through success just like this. Prove it. Nope. This is what it looks like. See, I even ran out of ink. That just proves how tough it is. You get my point. So, sometimes there's absolutely nothing to be jealous of, and everything is not as it seems. So, going back to what I just drew is a perfect example of that. And I've had a couple people, I won't lie, tell me they're jealous of me for my YouTube channel. I'm not going to deny that. I had a friend or two, or even an acquaintance or two, tell me that. And I don't know how it made me feel because I'm not really good with emotion as far as jealousy goes. And, you know, I kind of used to think, I'll try to stay away from this. It's just bad energy, but it's very difficult sometimes to explain to people that there's nothing to be jealous of because of what you went through. I tried telling the people who said that they were jealous of me for some reason, whatever it may be, which there's absolutely nothing to be jealous of because I remember how hard I worked to get here, wherever that may be. And I still feel I haven't accomplished all the things that I wanted to accomplish in my life yet, because I definitely have a long way to go, of course, there's no doubt about that. And there's way more to accomplish, so to those who just told me that, I tried explaining myself better, I suppose, and being more stern and stating that there was really nothing to be jealous of, and tell them what I went through, maybe an experience or two, and hopefully help them realize, oh, okay, that's understandable, that's explainable to me. I really shouldn't feel this way, but and I won't lie, there were others too I saw. I was pretty impressed with them and their lives, and I was asking, oh wow, it should be so easy for you now, and they tell me all these things like, oh, I have this depression, oh, I have I'm going through this, oh, there's family arguments, there's so many people, I can't even remember them all who have told me, and I realized, wow, the battles people go through behind the scenes, you really never see any of that. So again, there's nothing to be jealous of if you think about it. Everyone goes through a struggle in some way. So, and the last thing is describing my experience with jealousy and being happy for someone. Well, I pretty much just said it, I think. I have never ignored acknowledged feeling jealous, but I may have at one point or another, whether I realize it or not. And it's a very complex and touchy subject because you don't normally blurt out, oh, I'm jealous of so and so, or for this and that. I would say there were a couple times in school, perhaps maybe when someone is acting like they don't know something and then they pass the test and you're like, really? Like when someone says, oh, I'm so going to fail this test, and then they get an A plus and you get like a C or a D, and you're looking at them, we're like, really? Really now? But just silly little aggravated me, but it is, again, just any normal human emotion, and as long as you acknowledge if you have it, then that's the next step, and that's where you can go from there if you think it's a problem. Or if someone is jealous of you, like I said earlier, then telling them that they have this issue would be best, and giving them some advice, maybe sharing this video with them. It may ruin some relationships,